dude. So realistically, the first time that I heard of Wolfface, this is how I discovered your band. It was when we were starting the Jasons, and me and 3D were sitting in my house, and I was like, we're gonna find a record label, and we're gonna send our first record, because we recorded our record. We were like a band for, I don't know, a month, 2 months. Then we recorded a shade record, and we were like, let's send it somewhere. So I was doing all the research, and
How long ago was this? Is this like 7 years ago or something?
Yeah, it's about 7 years ago. I think we've been a band for 7, maybe. How long? I can tell you it was right when your first like record came out.
Right.
And because I was searching, and well, I'm assuming that's your first record. Still Son of a Bitch first record?
There was like a demo before that. So yeah, that's our first like real record. Yeah.
Okay, because it was on Mooster Records, yeah?
Yeah, that was put out about 7 years ago.
Okay, so like around that time, we were looking at record labels, and I stumbled on Mooster Records, and I found your band, and your band was listed, and then I saw the fucking Hamburglers. And I was like, well, clearly this is the fucking record label that we are supposed to be on. Because, like, you know, for us, we've been in and around the horror punk scene, but that's not really our vibe. But when I saw the Hamburglers, and then especially Wolfface, I was like, oh, these are our fucking people. These are the people.
They're right in, baby.
Fucking
for sure.
Yeah, so like I feel like we were supposed to have this conversation for like 7 years, and we're just now getting down to it, really.
It's been a long time coming. I gotta ask, so did you guys send your record to Brandon at Mooster?
So we did, and now I'm wondering if it wasn't our set, so I sent Brandon, I'm guessing it was Brandon, I sent somebody there our record, and he was like, yeah, man, we'll do something together. He's like, but we don't got vinyl money right now because our vinyl budget's out, but we got CD money. And we were like, well, we can do that on our own. We'll just release a vinyl on our own. Well, that took like 4 years. So we should have just been like, yeah, man, put our fucking CD out. But he was the only one really that was even fucking cool about talking to us in the beginning, though. He was
us too, man. Like, yeah, like I did the same thing. Like I sent our demo out to a bunch of labels, and I'm pretty sure he was the only one who got back to me and wanted to do something. So I feel you there.
And now those labels are like, fuck, what the fuck did we do?
They left so much cash on the table, man. Fuck them.
Right, exactly. We're like Scrooge McDuck now, you know.
Yeah, totally.
You got that liquid death money now. You don't need any of that shit.
Oh yeah, man. They treat us pretty well at Liquid Death. Well, I don't think they're ever gonna do it again.
Yeah. So that song that you did for Liquid Death, you mentioned to me, we were chatting just a little bit. This is our first time chatting in person, but through text you said that they can't use your song now.
Well, it's like, so we had like these big plans because they pay us a good chunk of money, which just blew me away. Like that just doesn't happen usually, you know, with bands like us or any little band, you know.
Yeah.
And so we actually had these plans to fly down this dude from New York to do this like a legit music video down here and stuff. And the weekend he was supposed to fly down is literally in March, right when everything shut down for COVID. So that was completely scrapped. And so we had this whole music video planned out at that point. It was out of question. It still wouldn't have happened. So around May, you know, I was like, fuck it, I still want to do it, you know. And the Liquid Death dude was like super cool about it being delayed and everything. You know, he didn't care. He wasn't bugging us. But I wanted to get something done, so I was like, "Fuck it, you know, I'll do this." Like, I came up with a stop animation movie idea just to do in my house, and like my kids are in the video and stuff.
Yeah.
And I planned it all out, and I fucking, I don't know, it's just, I'm biased obviously, but I loved it. I thought it came out great. The problem is, I love fucking with Lars from Metallica, and So he's in the video. His face, right? His face. He like offers me whiskey or something, and I punch him, and then I stab him and murder him. I forget. It's something like that. And so I say to Liquid Death dude, and he's like, "Dude, this is so great. The problem is we can't use it because you have Lars' image in it, and he can sue the shit out of us for that." And I was like, "Oh, bummer, man." And I guess I could have been like, "Well, we can edit it out," but I didn't want to edit my masterpiece. You know?
No, I'm glad. I respect that. You don't want to edit that shit.
Dominating this corpse all day is so easy, but my werewolf and whiskey blood has run dry. Think I've had enough. Gotta murder this thirst right now. I'm begging. A silver bullet just won't do. Need hydration to break through. My immortal body craves a drink. Need something. Liquid death, liquid death, liquid death, SOS, 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 liquid death.
Right, so it didn't like they couldn't really promote it. He's like, what we'll do is like when you put it out, we'll like share it on our social media as like a fan made thing. And so that's what they did. So it really it probably didn't get as much like traction as it would have if they could have legitimately like pushed it out and promoted it. I don't know if they would. They might not have done anything anyway. Who knows? But I definitely shot us in the foot a little bit by putting Lars in there. But I don't know. It's worth it.
No, I totally get it. And you know, like that's I think the worst part about it is like when something like Liquid Death rolls around or whatever it is, like I think you kind of said it, like sometimes it's surprising when people take bands that are like our band seriously, like Mooster taking you guys seriously, Liquid Death actually paying you what a band should make or whatever. And so I'm sure there was that part of you that wanted to roll it out and be like, yeah, motherfuckers, we're down with Liquid Death. And now people will say, oh, it's just a fan video.
Yeah, it's kind of like womp womp, but
yeah,
it's still fun.
But now all the hundreds of thousands of people watching this video will find out. So that's all
exactly.
that matters.
You know, it's really just putting more cash on a stack of cash that it's already there. So
no, dude, I get it. We like to fuck with I don't know if we like to fuck with Metallica, but we definitely stole from Metallica because like we've been trying. Dude, it's also weird now that I think of it that I mean, I think we're both of us are covered under the parody sort of law, if there is one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny that like Michael J. Wolf is doing this video and they're not worried about, you know, whoever made Teen Wolf. They're worried about fucking Lars. Like, you know, yeah.
Because actually, yeah, in the video, in the background, we have like literal clips from the movie as background, like the basketball court and stuff. And that's funny because he didn't say anything about that. So I don't know.
We must be covered. I've just been assuming that we're covered forever. But we've been trying to get sued for a long time because in my mind, that's where your real fame and fortune comes from, you know? So like we, you know, obviously the Jason thing, but we've been like trying to get a little Glenn Danzig lawsuit. We ain't got nothing. Been trying to get some Ramones, nothing.
I want to ask you about that actually because I was listening. I love the record y'all did where it's Ramones songs but Misfits lyrics.
Yeah,
especially Pet Sematary with Last Caress of the lyrics.
Oh, sweet lovely death, I am waiting for your breath. Oh, sweet death, one last caress.
It's so weird how it works, man. Like it fits great. Have you guys gotten any backlash from having that out there? Like,
no, we tried really hard to get sued by somebody, you know, and we got none of that, and we didn't even get backlash from like people saying. I thought that the hardcore like horror punk guys or the Ramones core guys they're not as hard like fucking hardline weirdo like the horror punk guys.
They don't care that much.
No, I mean, and that's part of being a Ramones guy, I guess. You know, the Ramones don't care. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to go nowhere with nobody if you listen to the lyrics. But
Right.
yeah, no backlash. And I personally think that if you take Joey's sort of music and, you know, the Ramones music and put Misfits lyrics, it makes a better song. That's
Dude,
just my opinion.
For some of those on that record, I totally agree, man. Like it was just, it's mind blowing how well it fit. Like I love that. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah,
but what are you
that
guys-
was like, there was no plan behind that. Like, we were supposed to play a Ramones tribute show or a Misfits tribute show, and we didn't practice, so we just had to throw it together, and that's what happened. So then later on, we were like, well, we should just record that because people seem to like that. So whatever.
Oh, no shit. How was the reaction at the show?
Everybody was confused because we didn't announce what we were doing. We just said, like, this is how we play the Misfits in Jersey. And then we started playing, and it was like, we could see people being like, what? I know this, but I don't know what the fuck's going on. So,
Right.
but, you know, afterwards, it was like a lot of people like, that was funny. You need to re-record that and stuff. And I kind of hoped that was going to be our, I don't know if you're familiar with the band 6 Feet Under, but they're a death metal band that made, in my humble opinion, some of the worst cover albums of all time. And they called them Graveyard Classics, and I thought, this is going to be our Graveyard Classics. Everyone's going to hate it, but we're going to make a lot of money. But nah, nothing happened.
Oh man, I'm the same way though, man. I would love for Lars to send a cease and desist letter, and like, what a great reason for the band to break up. Like, blame it on Lars, you know?
Yeah.
And did you ever see? I thought it was going to happen with I don't know if you ever saw it because it got banned from the internet. Where we took the Metallica Saint Anger music video and made that into a music video for us. Did you ever see that?
No.
I gotta email it to you, man, because to me it's the funniest thing in the world. My buddy Danny made it for us. Basically, we wanted to make a music video for the song, and no one had any good ideas, and I didn't have any good ideas, and so I just got frustrated. I told Danny, I was like, take that stupid ass Metallica video and just paste our song on top of it, and that's it. Except, and you know, like how they're like playing in prison, it's like all intense, like they're playing, and at the beginning of the video, it shows them like signing into the like logbook to the prison, and like there's a close up of them signing their names. I said, all I want you to do is where they're signing their names, just make it look like they're drawing dicks instead of signing their names. And then the rest is just that video, but our song pasted over it.
Yeah.
So I get a call from him a couple of weeks later. He's like, you know, or Michael J. I'm sorry.
I can bleep that out. No worries. No worries.
I don't know who he is. Some asshole probably. But he goes, Michael J. Like, so I'm kind of running away with this dick idea. Like, how many dicks is too many dicks? And I said, there's such thing as too many dicks, man. And so a couple weeks after that, he sent me the video, and man, I'm gonna have to email it to you, dude, after this, because it's my favorite thing in the world. And like, it's that video where they drew dicks all over Metallica. We're coming on Metallica. They're eating our shit. You know, there's prisoners jerking each other off. It's like the most juvenile. It's literally like a 6th grade boy, you know, rather than drawing dicks on the presidents and the geography or the history book or whatever, got a hold and was able to make a music video. And like, that's my favorite, like, juvenile, stupid humor, you know?
Yo, that's exactly the same approach that we take too. Like, no amount of dicks is too many. Like, you can't get enough, because that shit never ever stops being funny. And
right, it all makes me giggle.
And I don't know what it is, man. Like I said, we also took on our record Get Fucked, we actually just stole, you know, like the intro to One, where you can hear, it's clearly like James Hetfield doing like go 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 go, you know. We just added that to our song. It's been up on streaming media for years. Nobody's noticed it, and I was just like, what do you got to do?
A clip? It's a clip from their song?
Yeah. Just
that's too funny.
It's just a straight up intro to One at the beginning of our record, and I thought for sure we would get some sort of copyright strike. Nothing. But I don't know what it is, but there's like something about me that, like, I either want, like, if I'm fascinated with somebody, whether it's like Lars, or for me it's Ben Weasel a little bit, like, I either want him to hate me and strike out against me, or I want to be his best friend and I don't care which it is, you know?
Yeah, totally, man.
You know,
I get it. So, have you done shit to troll Ben Weasel?
not so much. Like I've mentioned his name in in our last couple records. Like in the first record, we were calling him out by Ben Weasel, just putting his name in our song, and we try to antagonize people. So at the time, Ben Weasel had thrown the punches heard round the world. I'm sure you know about that stuff. So in our lyric, we say, I support Ben Weasel in every punch he threw, because we knew that would irritate people. And he never responded, but we met him kind of. We ambushed him. He was trying to escape, and our bass player chased him down. And he was just like signing the inside of my jacket. And I had that button. It just said, I support Ben Weasel in every punch he threw. And he goes, what does your button say? And I told him, and he looked so disappointed in me. Like he was just he made this noise like, and I could just tell he was disappointed. So on our next record, I started calling out Ben Foster, calling his, like his mom would if she were upset with him, but still no response. But,
Yeah, I would have thought he would be desperate to have any friend after seeing that button. He'd be like, oh, man, I would have thought he'd buy a beer at least, man. Because,
I think he just kind of rolled with the punches and started playing the part of a villain for a little while. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's my theory.
He's totally a troll, man. Like,
yeah.
And I'm sure he's a total fucking prick, man. And
I hope so.
I love his songs, man.
Yeah. So was I Want to Be a Homo Sapien? Is that an homage to I Want to Be a Homosexual?
100%. And like the very end of the song, like there's like this like kind of slow bass part, and then it goes into like the very ending, like chorus or whatever it is. And the very ending part is literally the same chord progression as I Want to Be a Homosexual, singing I want to be a Homo Sapien. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I love slipping in stuff like that in songs. Like one of our songs has reference to skulls. Like at the end, I just start singing, "I want your skull," or "I want his skull."
When I saw love songs for the lycanthropic, because like when I chased you guys down like to listen to your music, after I saw it on Mooster, it was like I was off to the races, and ever since then I've kept up, and me and Jason 3D especially have kept up. But I always wondered, like I figured I Want to Be a Homo Sapien, was probably an homage, but then love songs for the lycanthropic, to me, there's a queers reference in there.
Yep.
And what kind of solidified it was when I heard that song. Is it called "Don't Bother to Thank Me"? I'm trying to pull it off of my head.
On our newest record,
yes,
there is like "No Need to Thank Me."
No Need to Thank Me. Yeah. So when I heard you talking about Joey, Johnny, Dee on that song, like I was like, okay, but because I originally expected you guys to be Ramones core, and it's definitely, there's elements, but I was really, I have to say, super surprised, because all of a sudden, like, it would have been so easy for I Want to Be a Homo Sapien to just be a silly song, but like that's one of those songs, like a million of your songs, that like it's got some real like deep soul, like it's fucking grabs your fucking heart and it shows it to you. That shit.
Thanks, dude. I love hearing that. I love that shit.
I mean,
let me ask you this real quick, man. So that where it does a Joey, Johnny, Dee Tommy at the end of that song. Do you know what that's from by any chance? Because it's another shout out to a completely different band.
No, I don't know.
You probably don't. I don't think so. It's this musician named Kevin Morby, and he plays like real slow, mostly acoustic stuff, which I usually don't like at all. But
yeah,
I like some of his stuff, and he has this kind of upbeat, like really it's almost a punk rock song basically called 1 2 3 4, where at the end or during one of the verses, that's all he does is Joey, Johnny, Dee Tommy. And then he goes, "They're all my friends, and they died," and that's the end of the song. So it's a ripoff of him doing that, actually.
Wow.
So it's kind of got like a 3D Ramones reference, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Ramones reference about a Ramones reference. That's cool.
Exactly. So it's a
That
deep dive.
that
Yeah.
that song in general, though, man, like I respect and I'm guess I'm just assuming because to some degree I find Wolfface lyrics, they're like 5% esoteric sometimes, because sometimes I feel like it's a song about one thing and then there's like maybe a bridge or a verse about a totally different thing. But when I heard that song in particular, what I love about it is like what you're essentially saying is like, yeah, this band is great and this band did it the best, but like I'm gonna go do it better. And a lot of people in a lot of music scenes all feel like they need to humble themselves before the old kings of the scene. And I've never been about that. Like,
that's no fun.
No, no, and you should be. I had this discussion with, was it Phil? I don't know, whoever it was, but the idea that like, if you're setting your sights to not be the best, even if in your brain you're like, yeah, that's not possible, it's the Ramones, right. I'll never, whatever. But right. Unless you shoot for that, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of about. Like, trust me, I don't think I'm better than the Ramones.
Right. In real life. But you know what? You're a better Wolfface than the Ramones.
Johnny, Diddy, Tommy, Johnny, Diddy, Tommy. They did it the best. I'll do it better. Without your royal shout, I can give them hell. I'll take your team and make it better still.
The Ramones couldn't do Wolfface.
They couldn't do that for shit. Dude, by the way, I love the interview with Phil McCracken, man. I love the McCrackens for so long, man.
Man, I mean, like, for me, like, that was one of the bands, like, I put them way up there in my hierarchy. Quite honestly, those dudes for me are higher than the Weasels and the Queers, and like, I don't know what it is. Obviously I identify with their image to some degree, but I mean, just the pop sensibilities, that's crazy. I mean, they're so good at it,
Fantastic songs, dude. When and how did you get into them? Because I'm down in Florida, and I just happened to stumble upon them when I was a kid, like in high school. I found one of their records and got hooked. In fact, when I was like 15 is when I first got into them. And I remember, I swear I remember writing them a letter begging them to come down to my area to play. And I promised that I'd get all my friends to go, like some cheesy little kid letter,
Yeah.
And I'm sure I sent it to the record label and no one ever saw it. But I remember doing that because I was so stoked on them. And I was like, there's no way these guys are from Canada. Looking at the back of the record, I was like, man, I got to beg them to come all the way down here. And they never did. Surprise.
Dude, I fantasized forever about seeing them live, and to this day have not. I think what I live in a pretty rural area. I'm in West Virginia, right? So when I'm a teenager in West Virginia, I got nothing. Punk rock is just like this far away thing. So I think I was on like eBay and I'm just typing in punk rock record, and I found a McCracken's record and I ordered it because of the way they looked. And that's how I got into them. And then it was a complete obsession, just trying to find all of it and get as much as I could.
They got so many releases. It's like obscene. Like I have quite a few of them, but not even close to their discography.
Yeah, they wore me out with their discography. Like I would love to collect them all, but actually I have my from when I was talking to Phil, this is all I've got, and that's not nearly.
Those are all McCrackens?
Yeah, this is all McCrackens right here.
Wow, my stack is like a fourth of that. Yeah, I had that 3D one I saw on top, the one with like the dim sum song and stuff, with the 3D glass. I got that one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's the one holy grail in my McCracken's collection, and I know I could get it on Discogs, I guess, but it's only on CD, and it's this side project that Bill McCracken did called Doormats. Have you heard Doormats?
No.
Oh man, I wish I could send you a link, but it's just not anywhere on the internet that I can find. It's a weird record, but yeah,
You went and
that's
sowed his wild oats and like experimented, huh?
yeah, something, man. I don't know what happened there, but like it's worth checking out. I'll have to, if I can ever find a fucking a link to it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that'd be right.
it's probably $1 on Discogs, but
Let me ask you this little piece of McCracken's trivia that I've never been able to figure out. So you remember they released it's called like Eccentricities and Oddities. It's like their B-sides and stuff.
yeah.
Do you have that? I have it on CD.
So at one point I had that on CD, and as is with every CD I've ever owned, I put it in the CD player in my car, drove around, it got scratched up and lost. So
Oh yeah, I gotcha. But so the reason there's a cover song they do on that called like Perfect World. I don't know if you remember. It's like, I don't want to live in a perfect world. It's a really good like pop punk song, but it's a cover song. And I could never, and I still can't. I was looking into it the other day. I was trying to like look all over the internet. I was trying to figure out who originally did it. And I think I even commented on like Phil had like commented on one of those like Facebook groups for like pop punk or something about something. And I like commented asking him that, and he didn't even know who did it. And so I don't know. I've always been trying to figure out, because it's a great song. I kind of want to hear the original, but
yeah, no, I don't. I'm not even sure that I fully remember that one. And that again is the problem with their discography, is like there's so much, but
1,000 songs. Yeah.
well, when we get to the when COVID is over and we do the 2022 gimmick band get together in Las Vegas, Nevada, we'll ask Phil in person. It'll be no fucking problem.
That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be tight.
Just kind of like a business convention where we're all in our nice suits, but we have these on, and we're just walking around mingling, making connections and such.
That'd be so fun. I love weird shit that comes out of this, man. That's what's so like, I'm sure you've been in other bands. I have too. Like, it's never been as fun as this shit,
No, I one time when earlier in my time being in bands, when I was in other bands, I played with a band. I played with a dude. So I'll just tell you, it doesn't matter really. We played with Michael Graves, right? And he was like, after the show, he said to me, he goes, "Yeah, man, like, I'm sure you know what it's like. You play and you take off your makeup and then you're just still wearing a mask." And he was like very bummed out about having to wear it. And I was like, "No, dude, actually I would wear it 24/7. I don't I don't know what you're talking about, because this is fucking cool. Like, I don't get it."
That dude's a nutcase, so he won't understand.
Yeah, he I can tell you he certainly is not on the same wavelength of like, let's wear costumes and have fun. Definitely not. Because it's like, dude, like, why is that? Why would you not want to? I would do this 24/7 if I could.
It's so much more fun, man. You can just do whatever the hell you want, and like, it's just an extra layer to the creativity of it all. It's a really fun layer that you can always change. Whereas the songs you play, it's always the same song. And I still love playing our songs. I mean, I'm not like bored with it or anything, but it's the same song, Yeah. So like, but now I can say different dumb werewolf shit between songs, maybe make someone giggle or make myself giggle, I don't know. Yeah. I just think it's just so much fun, it's silly.
Yeah. Well, and like, I think like when for your stuff too, like, people a lot of times they look at bands that have an image or gimmick bands. I'm totally fine with having a gimmick band label thrown on me. I don't care. But like, they see that as being some sort of crutch or like some sort of cover up. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I think it just forces you to be a little bit more clever. Like, like with your stuff, like that's where I like your band a lot. And that's where I think 3D, my bandmate, we've gotten into it, is because like some bands, they make gimmick band music to go with their gimmick, and
Right,
some
right.
bands make music in spite of their gimmick. And that's what you do, is like your songs are not all about being a werewolf unless somebody just reads the title and they can't see what's going on a deeper level, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, some of them are like a few of our songs are super literal, like straight from just describing what happened in the movie Teen Wolf, you know, right?
right.
But a lot of them, like, yeah, it could totally go either way. It could either be a story about dealing with being a teenage werewolf, or just dealing with being like a closeted gay kid in high school or something, you know, like
Exactly.
a lot of them, they're relatable in that way, which is not, it's really not intentional on my part. It just kind of happened that way. I don't know. I'm no fucking genius or poet or anything. That's why this all started, is because I hate writing lyrics, because I don't feel like I have like anything profound to say. And I feel like so many like serious lyric writers and singers are just like full of shit, you know, and like their lyrics might seem like artistic and stuff, but really it's just trite bullshit, you know, and maybe that's just me projecting for my own insecurities about it. I don't know. But so I was like, fuck, I'll just write about Teen Wolf, you know, and I had songs, you know, and I was like, what am I gonna write about? I don't want to write about fucking my wife and how much I love her and flowers and shit. And so I don't know, Teen Wolf might have been on TV or something. And I was like, I'll just write about Teen Wolf. And that's fucking snowballed from there, man. But you're right, dude. Like, you guys, like, you wouldn't be around as long as you guys have and have as many records as you have if you didn't have fucking cool music to back it up. Because there's tons of gimmick bands that come and go, and I've been in some where you're right, it's a gimmick and you're writing music to kind of just so we can be a band too, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you know, that's like that's what I was interested about, you know, wondering about you guys too. And I mean, you can see it on your records, but like we've run into the same thing where it's like, okay, you know, our gimmick, at least Friday the 13th, we have all these movies to go and draw from. You guys have 2 movies.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like pace yourself and be like, all right, we're not going to have every single song just be that, because you'll burn yourself out, you know?
Right,
So
it'd
like,
be like impossible for me, at least.
yeah, for us too. And it would get old. Like, so, you know, I think we're at the place now where it's like a few songs are about the thing, you know, whether it's fucking, like, we got a record coming out called the Jarvis House Split, where we wrote songs about Tommy Jarvis and Tommy Jarvis's family. So
Oh, no shit.
we did that, but then like a lot of the other stuff, it's kind of like, man, we sort of have to develop our own characters, just like you're Michael J. Wolf. You don't write from the perspective of Michael J. Fox as a werewolf in the movie. You write from your own perspective, and I think that's what gives bands longevity, is you have to find something else, because you can't just write about it 24/7. You know?
Right? Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm never gonna go away from like the whole werewolf thing, but you're right. It's just not so obvious in some songs, you know.
Right. And you know, sometimes just like one word or one phrase. Like, I know for me, when I'm writing a song, as long as in my head I can find a link, then that's a Jason's song. Like, it doesn't have to be something that anybody else can find, but like, okay, like we have a song called Blood in the Streets, and like, that's not really a Jason song, but there's one lyric about being in the sewer.
Down in the sewers where the rats all drown. There's something hiding in the alleys and the shadows.
And I was like, well, that's from part 8. There you go. You know, that's where it comes from.
Dude, that's funny, because like so the first song on our newest record is like a slow, it starts off real slow, and like it's kind of just a slow, like almost like emo-y song, but
that's Still Golden, right? That's the first
Still
song.
Golden. The song's Still Golden. Like, the way that came about is a few years ago I had written the music for that song. It's real soft and kind of pretty. I was like, this isn't a Wolfface song.
Oh.
So I had actually I sent it to a buddy of mine in Tampa, a guy named Jeremy Gloff, who's a musician nearby who puts out records all the time. And I've always liked this stuff. And I was like, Jeremy, here's this music. Like, you could probably make this a song, and it would fit for you. And so he did, and he put it on an album, and he wrote these lyrics about like his friend who died. They're like super sad, pretty lyrics. And I loved what he did with it. And I was like, you know, if I change like literally half a sentence in the song, it becomes about Michael J. Wolf, because it's about like they can never beat you down enough to where you're not still golden and the best, you know, right? And so like what the beginning of the song is like, I changed the lyric. I forget what the original lyric was, but it just goes,
No matter Michael J, you're gold.
so that's 2 words changed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it became a Wolfface song because it fits with like the story too. And I had talked to him ahead of time. I was like, dude, Jeremy, like, I know this is about some serious stuff. Like, I'm okay if you don't want me bastardizing it and making it a silly Wolfface song. And he's like, no, dude, my friend who died would have fucking thought that was hilarious. Go for it. So
no, dude, and what a perfect combination that you did, man. Because like that's one of my favorite Wolfface songs ever,
oh,
dude.
No,
like,
that's funny. That's cool.
And just adding that line, what I liked about when you added just the fact that you added that line to make it about you, it's this like, now it has this vibe of where maybe with your friend who wrote, you know, his lyrics were about somebody who's passed away. For when I hear it now from Wolfface, what it is, it's like you're kind of picking yourself up. Like you kind of got to remind yourself, like, yo, fuck what everybody else says. Like, and I can't remember the lyric exactly, but it's something like realize that you're something about you're so like, look at your dirty and love it until you're clean, or something like that. Fucking great, beautiful lyric. Like, and to me, that's just like, that's where I look at Wolfface and I'm like, and even like, you know, I Want to Be a Homo Sapien, that song, all those songs, like I look at it and it's like, yeah, man, there's way more to be found in it. And especially with that song where it was just kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like that song probably picked a lot of people up and reminded them to like themselves a little bit, which is kind of fucking cool, you know?
How about forgetting the times when I felt done wrong? How about forgetting the times when I was not strong? How about making each sunrise a brand new scene? How about loving my dirty so much like clean?
Yeah, I hope so. I think that's pretty rad, man. It's like, and again, it's like totally unintentional. Like, I never planned on doing it like that, you know, but it just works out. It's kind of, it's just, again, I'm just along for the ride, man. As long as I can still write these silly songs, I'm gonna keep doing it. As long as people give a shit about it and want to hear it, let's keep rolling.
And I think people will project what they, you know, sometimes they project what they need to hear in a song too. So I've certainly experienced that, where people will ask me about a song and they'll say like, yeah, man, it's about this. And I'm like, no, it's really not. But if that's what it's about for you, fucking go get it. You know?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And what's cool about, you know, what I hate is like, I hate artists or like singers or poets or whatever, where like you can tell what they're writing makes no fucking sense to them or anybody. And like, I hate when they're asked about like, what does this song mean? And they do that answer. I don't want to explain it. I want it to mean whatever it means to whoever is listening. You know what I mean? That's just, it's such a stupid cop out. Like I don't know. Again, maybe it's me projecting because I don't consider myself like some fucking poet or artist, but I feel like so many people are full of shit. Like these people who take themselves too seriously with their music and stuff. A lot of them are just full of shit, you know?
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, I don't know, like when I write something, I'm so excited about it that I'll fucking tell somebody every little piece of it all fucking day. I want to talk about it, you know? Like, so yeah, I think there's a little bit of like pretentiousness in there with some people, or I've heard people, this is what drives me crazy, man, where they'll say like, well, my lyrics are personal to me. Fuck off, man. You put out a record, you know?
Right. It ain't that personal, man. Everyone's listening to it.
Yeah.
And I love, I'm sorry. I love that you're like, you gotta like aim the straw into the hole. Like it's a total sidetrack. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's fine.
I took my kid to like Comic-Con down. There's like a big Tampa Comic-Con that happens every year. I took my kid there like 2 or 3 years ago, and this dude in this full like amazing Predator costume, right? He looked like the Predator. It was so awesome. Predator's just standing there while this woman, I assume it's his wife or something, has this bottle of water and is slowly feeding the straw into Predator's mouth so he can get a sip. It was like the most surreal thing. Like the Predator is just desperately trying to get a sip of water through a straw. It was so weird looking. It's like a clashing of worlds, you know?
Yeah, no, you got to prepare. I know that struggle because, like I was telling you before, the way my mask works, it's like once it's on, I'm kind of strapped in because I wanted to be able to like fucking swing my head around without it flying off. So,
Yeah.
like, usually if we play a show, it's like I'm in it until we're out of the building. So, I always carry a straw so I can get my monster from my can into my mouth or whatever I'm drinking, usually something like that. And like there are certain things you just got to bring with you, and I always have a straw in my jacket pocket because otherwise you're just walking around dying all fucking
Yeah,
day.
right.
Sure.
Do you ever have trouble? Do you have trouble finding the microphone wearing that? Because like, I don't think I would be able to find a microphone if I couldn't touch it with my lips, which is kind of gross. But I had to do it, you know. Like,
Yeah. No, I think I'm just used to it now, like because it's kind of echoey in here, so I always take the little foam thing off so that I can feel the microphone kind of grinding on my mask, you know.
I gotcha. So you can feel it kind of grind up there.
Yeah. It's it's a struggle. Sometimes we've encountered every once in a while a sound guy that claims he can't get sound through a hockey mask, and we're like, well, we've played hundreds of shows and everyone else can, so figure it out.
Can you not hear you talking to him? Like,
we played a country western bar in our local, and I guess that's why were we there, right? But we were playing open mic night at this thing. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't open. It was called the Songwriters Showcase at this bar, and the sound guy kept saying, unless you take your masks off, I can't get your sound. And we were like fighting with him, like, you're full of shit, you know. And they were harassing us, like they were like, okay, we're gonna introduce you, so what's your name? And I was like, Jason V. And he's like, no, your real name. And I was like, Jason V. And he's like, this is the Songwriter Showcase. And I was like, all right, I wrote it, so there you go. And he goes, all right, whatever, you can use the fake name. And he goes, so where are you from? And I said, Crystal Lake, New Jersey. And he said, no, this is the Songwriter Showcase. And I was like, yo, man, this is what you're dealing with. We got a fake severed head over here, so figure it out, man. Like,
did they need to send you a tax form or something? Like, what the fuck?
Who knows? I think they wanted to keep our musical integrity, you know. And I guess if you wear a costume, you don't have any musical integrity, according to some people, right?
Well, how did the country western bar like you guys?
So there were only about 4 people there, and it was one of our first shows, and it was terrible. We didn't do good, but our drummer at the time met a girl that he went on a date with, so I guess we got that going for us.
Wasn't all a zero, huh?
No. What about you guys? Do you like, because the scene, I don't even know how to place you in a genre. I consider you punk rock, but you guys kind of have your own path. So like, what was it like and what is it like for you guys? Like, do you struggle with gimmick band hatred or people not taking you serious enough?
You know, I've been so surprised by it from the beginning, man. Like the first time we ever played a show, I was completely planning for it to just be a one-off. And like, I just figured I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to laugh and that'll be it. And, but the people fucking loved it. And we've never, I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe it's happened, I don't know about it, but I've never felt hampered by being a gimmick band. You know, it's never been a negative for us. In fact, to me, it's been nothing but a positive. I feel like it's gotten us way more shows than we would get otherwise. You know, and as I tell bands all the time, I was like, dude, you guys should just fucking dress up like Draculas, man. It's way more fun. It's like it's way more fun, and people like want to see you more. Like people who like when I get in this silly get up and I'm in my underwear, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll walk around where we're playing through the front and out front and go to the stage that way, so people can be like, who the fuck is this asshole in his underwear?
Yep,
looking like a fucking pug dog or something. And it draws people in, whereas if it was just normal band, those people aren't coming in because they're busy drinking their beer, you know.
No, that's right.
Similar.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, as far as us getting the attention and selling the merch, like, we definitely, like, we all know that without being the Jasons, nobody would pay nearly as much attention. Now, I think like your music, and as I think our music too, it's like you got to have a musical foundation that can back it up for sure. But without that, man, you don't get the first look sometimes,
I totally agree. I feel the same about us, man. I feel like we've gotten way more opportunities as a result of doing this.
Yeah.
But like you say, like people still like the music, and I love hearing people, saying, "Shit, you guys don't even need the werewolf gear. I still come listen to you."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
so
that's a good compliment. I think like I've heard that from people too. They'll be like, yeah, man, you guys don't even need it. And like, there's a part of me, I always appreciate that kind of compliment, but there's the other part of me that always wants to say, yeah, but without it, it wouldn't be the same thing,
right, same way, man. And I would never do it. I would never play our stuff without it. Like we're never going to be a Kiss Unmasked. It's never going to happen. And what I tell people too is like these masks we wear, they don't exist anymore. And it's a long story. I said, like, we don't have any more masks. And some of our masks, like Wolf, our drummer, his mask, they're melting because it's like latex. I didn't know this. It's almost like a living material, and it just degrades over time naturally. And like, so his mask is janky as hell. Like his eye holes are like this big now. His nose, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. We saw a couple of weeks ago when we videotaped this set. And I just tell you, once the masks have dissolved, we're done. We're not a band anymore. The werewolves died, I'm not doing different masks. This is what we got.
You wouldn't feel comfortable going ever without it then?
No, I just wouldn't want to, like
same.
I feel like I don't know, I just wouldn't want to, because you're right. It's like this is part of it, it's not, we're not just a regular band, is these songs, I'm not going to play them outside of this stuff because I just do it because it's fun. Like, I just want to do what's fun for me. I wouldn't have fun, just being normal me playing the tunes,
Yo, that's where we can 100% agree on that, because I've never felt, I feel really similar to you when I hear you talk about, like, I don't have all these deep, dark demons that I need to exercise. I'm not a Matt Skiba sort of songwriter. I don't have a closet full of that shit. I don't need to get it out. But so for me, I need some sort of catalyst to start my creativity. But then at the same time, I don't think this for myself, because I think I'm in my own head and I feel a lot like you do. I'm like, I don't really have anything to say. But when I hear you say that, what I do think is like, because I do find, quite honestly, I'm not bullshitting you or anything like that. I do find a lot of your lyrics to be incredibly, like, whether it's intentional or unintentional, pretty poetic and sort of like meaningful. At least when I hear them, they're meaningful to me.
Well, thanks, dude.
So I wonder if maybe all you needed was to put on that mask so that you don't feel so like you were saying, maybe it's just me projecting. Like, I don't want to feel that way, but maybe that's what you need. It's like you put that on and it allows you to say things that you may not normally say if it was just you.
I think that's 100% right. Probably, like, it definitely takes away any inhibitions, which I would totally have outside the mask.
Does it? It seems to me like maybe it's the subconscious that worms its way into, like, I'm just going to write a dumb song about Jason, or you're going to write a dumb song about being a horny wolf man. And then somehow our subconscious worms a little something from up here in there. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know.
Well, I think also, like, now you mention it, I feel like having it's almost like a crutch to where if anyone like ever says like, oh, that song's fucking stupid, like those lyrics are dumb, it's like, well, yeah, of course they're fucking dumb. It's about being a teenage werewolf asshole, so like, yeah, it really takes away any form of like self-consciousness, like I think there's something to that. Like, it's probably like a emotional crutch almost, like
You
No
probably
one can like break down my shit because look at me, I'm a fucking teenage werewolf, dude. Like, are
right.
you really gonna take this seriously?
Yeah, no, that's it. And like I think it's the same for us too, where it's like and that's it always shocks me if somebody takes something that we say super serious because I'm like, dude, have you seen this? Like, do you realize that you're like we're obviously up here to have a good time. But yeah, I think that's it too. It gives you that little bit of like, I'm not up here trying to be somebody who's like gonna blow your mind, who's gonna be super profound or whatever, because
Right.
I've never been comfortable with that either. Like I don't feel like I'm some sort of I just want to write about dick jokes, really. That's all I'm interested in.
Same. Oh my god. So like you guys, so you're in West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like people in other states, I'm in Florida, picture Florida and it's just Florida man, right? Because that's and it's understandable, right? So but when I think of West Virginia, I've never been to West Virginia. I think of like the mountain, those families that are still living in the mountains, like inbred as hell and stuff. Is that still a thing? Does that still exist?
It's interesting. Like, so the place where we're all located, and I'm not from here, and 3D's not from here. I think our other two members are from here, but like we're kind of centered right now in an area that is a college town,
Okay.
So it's very much that. Now, I've been to other places in West Virginia where it was certainly a very scary area. Like we had this friend that did a horror movie called Pork Chop. He did a movie about this West Virginia pig, like a pig-headed cannibal inbred killer. And I got to be pork chopped for for a day. I was in the movie and stuff. They paid me salsa. I got salsa to be in it. That's all I got paid. But in between, we were shooting in deep southern West Virginia, and we had to go to the gas station for something. So I took off my pig head, and I was wearing no shirt, no shoes, overalls, and I was caked in blood and mud. And I walked in the gas station, and I was like surrounded by people that I felt like didn't even notice that I was out of place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there is a bit of that maybe, but really in our area, like I always say that we're kind of a suburb of Pittsburgh in West Virginia.
Okay.
Like we have to go to Pittsburgh to play the majority of the punk rock shows we play or go see. So, but I can also say we've never ever in West Virginia had a like negative reaction to us wearing costumes either. So I don't know. It's a strange thing too.
Yeah, I'm just doing my ignorant generalization, like.
And I mean, definitely, I think there's definitely an area where you could probably. I think it was with Phil McCracken. I was talking about the legend of two-headed Eddie Moats. It's funny that he's back here again, which is supposedly somewhere. I don't know if it was Phil or maybe it was the other one. I talked to my friend Hoax on here, like we're talking now, but. There is a legend of a kid or a man named Two-Headed Eddie Moats. It's funny that this is the second time where it's come up, but
oh, cool.
Apparently there's an inbred man with two heads. Now, I heard this years ago. I think he may no longer, I don't know that he was ever real, quite honestly, but I like to think that he's still out there somewhere searching for fresh blood of campers or whatever. I don't know.
Are there like blurry photos of him like that people have captured or anything like that, kind of Bigfoot stuff?
There's not any pictures of two-headed Eddie Moats, but there was he supposedly lives in a trailer park called Hollywood, which I can't even seem to find any information. I've done too much web searching on two-headed Eddie Moats, but I've heard it from numerous people and older people. Like the lady that told me after I had heard it once, she was in her like 50s and she's telling me about two-headed Eddie Moats. So I don't know.
How do you spell Moats? M-O-A?
I think it's M-O-A-T-S.
Okay, so I'm type and he's supposed to roam. Is it a particular area in West Virginia?
So the legend that I heard was that two-headed Eddie Moats lives in Preston County, West Virginia.
Okay, so the reason I'm typing it up is because a buddy of mine down here, he like specializes in creating fake like Bigfoot sightings, and like he gets in like newspapers all over the country with his
Oh
fake
my God.
And so I don't know if he'll like find like some weird town in South Carolina that has like the legend of some dragon monster or something, and he'll like do like a whole setup of a fake dragon monster sighting. He'll
Oh
send it in
wow.
the papers. It'll get in the papers and everything. And he's totally he does this trolling paper. So I'm gonna have to look. So if you see me share an article in the immediate future about with a blurry picture of a two-headed dude walking Eddie Moats,
Dude,
that's who's behind it. I guarantee it.
this is what needs to happen. We need to further the legend. Even if Eddie Moats never existed, we gotta further the legend of Eddie Moats.
And how fun, like that's shit. I love shit like that. It was just kind of, it's fun that there's even a legend of it, like a two-headed dude just chilling like in the woods or something like.
Yeah.
Profound.
And I was excited. Now, like I said, I'm not from West Virginia, but like when Wrong Turn came out, I thought it was fucking cool because I'm not from here, but I live here, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, we got an inbred monster movie." But it wasn't even a big. I've not heard anybody be too upset that the legend of West Virginia is inbred mongoloids, because I think everybody's just like, Florida. You got Florida, man. You got inbred mongoloids. You got Jersey.
Oh yeah,
Jersey, whatever.
We definitely have our share.
Yeah. Now, see. For me, I always just associate Florida with death metal, like Obituary and Morbid Angel and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's right. That's where I live, man. Tampa Bay area. That's where all that shit came up.
I would trade all that stuff for two-headed Eddie Moats any day. So you're in good shape.
It's funny because that stuff completely missed me just because it was a little bit before my time, before I was even listening to music, in high school. It's fascinating knowing about it now, whereas if no one ever told me about it and I didn't know how to look into it, I would have never known. It's not like we got fucking death metal billboards and stuff,
Right.
like fucking tribute statues to death metal gods, so it's an interesting thing. And what a random fucking place, man. Tampa, Florida. It's so strange, but
yeah, I think a lot of times, like, it seems like those scenes, when we look back, it seems like they were huge, but they were probably small groups of people that made a big splash and then became legend, where like, it's the same thing. Like when I went to Canada, I thought everybody knew the McCrackens and the Hanson brothers. Nobody knew who the fuck they were. And it was blowing my mind,
Yeah.
So,
I think you told that to like Phil, because like you guys were on the complete opposite coast of Canada, and I'm the same way. We're like, Canada's fucking long, it's a fucking wide, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like the States, I mean, I don't know some band in California or Washington, and we expect Canada is just like a small place, like, oh, the McCrackens? Oh yeah, they're only like 1,000 miles that way.
Yeah, I just assumed everybody listened to the McCrackens. I mean, it's crazy what your mind tells you when you're a young kid and you're researching this stuff,
Yeah.
Like you sending a message to the McCrackens, or writing a letter. That's amazing.
I know. Who knows? No one ever saw it, I'm sure, but they were actually on Shredder. I think it was Shredder was the label that a lot of their stuff was on, and Shredder's from right where I live. They're from down here. In fact, the guy who ran, was it Shredder? I'm pretty sure it's Shredder Records who was down here. Because the guy who ran it, I've seen him around. He's like older now, of course, and he like friended me on Facebook, like Michael J. Wolf. So it's kind of interesting because they had the dude who was putting out some of the records was down here, and I guess that's probably how they ended up in some of the record stores down here, because I don't think a lot of their distribution made it all the way down here. Maybe it did, but it's a long fucking way to go for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the strength of that band, is like the more I talk to Phil and like have learned about them, it's like they barely really even went on. I think they had like a few days of a US tour, and that was it, man.
Yeah,
like
right.
So
and they wrote a record about it.
yeah. That van crash record. I mean, that's crazy. So
dude, like, let me ask you something, man. this is something I'm asked all the time, but like, are the Friday the 13th movies like your favorite movies, and that's why you picked that as the subject matter?
Yo, I was gonna ask you the same thing because people assume that because we started the Jasons that I'm just obsessed. And honestly, dude, like I haven't watched one in years. Like it was just kind of the thing where I thought like, man, you know what would be a really striking image is if like Joey Ramone was wearing a hockey mask, man, like, and that's like as far as it went. Of course, then I pulled from, the movies, but like, yeah, I don't have, I honestly don't even own most of the movies at this point. So is it the same with you? I'm sure it's just
yeah, pretty much. Like Teen Wolf is not my favorite movie. I like it. I grew up watching it, and I don't even remember how I picked it. It might have just happened to be on TV when I was trying to figure out what to do with some songs I recorded, and I haven't watched, I busted out and watch it like before trying to write a new record, which we've only done like a few. So that's when, just to get some sort of new inspiration, hopefully. But and then Teen Wolf 2, like I think I've only written one song about that, and it was about how much that movie sucked. Because that movie's fucking garbage, man. I could go on and on about the fucking issues.
It's bad. So bad. I always wondered, and I'm gonna fucking there's a song, I want to say it's on your second record. I could be wrong. There's a song about boxing. I swear to God.
That's it.
Okay, that is the song about it. Okay.
Yeah, wolves don't box, they kill. Because like, in Teen Wolf 2, it's like Michael J. Fox's cousin, which whatever, and like he's in college, and the sport this time is boxing. He's on the college boxing team. Have you ever heard of a fucking college boxing team?
No.
Does that exist? Right. It's so stupid. And the coach of the boxing team is a different actor, but supposed to be the same coach as the coach in the first movie. So this fucking shitty high school basketball coach somehow got promoted to being a college boxing coach. And the only way you know it's the same coach is because there's like a cheesy part in the movie where like he's like gazing at his desk and looking at a picture of Michael J. Foxwolf, like, and the coach, like, standing together holding a basketball, like the good old days. And like, but completely different actor, doesn't look or act anything like the original guy. And somehow he became and it just so happens to be the college where his cousin's going to join the boxing team. It's fucking stupid, man.
How could they make such a huge blunder? I mean, it's not hard. It's really not hard to make a sequel. We could come up with a better sequel, but who knows what they were fucking thinking at that point in time. Yeah.
Quick money grab. They got Jason Bateman on the cheap before he was famous. And it's just such a shit movie. And like, have you ever even watched that movie all the way through?
It was on cable when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure it didn't even keep my interest long enough. Other than I do remember he was a boxer in that movie. Yeah. Like that's.
Well, I can understand it not keeping your attention, but so like the dad from Teen Wolf is in this movie. Like that's the only actor they could get to carry over, and like he's driving the kid to college. Like, I don't know, uncles don't usually drive their nephews to college, but it's just an excuse to show, hey, look, we still got one of the actors, right? And so in the final boxing scene where like he's trying to box as a human, of course, he's like down on the ropes, he's about to like die, and like he's about to lose like so horribly, and he's like gazing up into the audience, like the crowd, and he sees the dad from Teen Wolf 1 in the crowd, right? And he looks at him, and the dad from Teen Wolf 1 like gives him like the secret, I don't know, maybe this is the secret werewolf move to boxing. He just goes like this. Right? And so the Teen Wolf's like, yeah. And he just uppercuts the guy and like wins the match. Like, this is some fucking secret move.
Right.
like no one ever thought of that before.
That was their attempt at like a Mr. Miyagi moment without earning it.
It was their crane. Like, yeah, totally. But like way dumber and less creative.
See, and if it weren't for that shitty movie, you might have had an entire cinematic legacy of multiple films to pull from, but they fucked it up and made a shitty sequel cash grab, and now you only got 2 to deal with. Yeah,
I've written like 30 to 40 songs out of the one movie, so somehow I'm still able to kind of milk it a little bit.
Yeah, that's how we'll know when Wolfface is finally sold out, when they start writing positive songs about Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
we'll
the key.
know.
Right. That's the death album, man. That's like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe when
so,
your masks all disintegrate, you can write like the death of Wolfface, you know.
and we're out. Yeah, that's all.
And
100%.
that's when you don your masks and join the band that I am personally have heard hundreds and hundreds of people, I swear to God, every day with this fucking joke. People always say, "Hey, I'm going to start a band called the Freddies," and I've heard it so many times. I want to shoot myself, but if Wolfface did it, it would be all right. So,
All right, I appreciate it. I'll keep that in mind for sure, brother. So, do you like? I was just watching this with my kids the other day. Friday the 13th, 3D, man.
You know,
see that shit?
In 3D, I watched it with the old red and blue glasses, and I don't know what it is, man, but I still love, no matter how bad it is, I still enjoy a 3D movie. I'm in the minority.
Well, it's hilarious though. Like, it's not a bad movie. I like it just fine, honestly. And we weren't watching it in 3D, but you could tell the 3D shots are so. There's like, yeah, exactly. And there's like the scene where like the guy's doing the yo-yo and the camera's like up below him, so you see the yo-yo coming at you like this. Like,
yeah.
When's there ever a yo-yo scene? But you're right. Like the first scene has a guy like with like a broom handle or something like, or
yeah.
I was gonna say Freddy, but Jason.
They're like, yeah, we got to make the most of this fucking 3D shit. So figure out some gags. Like I think the dude's throwing popcorn at some point or something.
Did you watch the documentary? It's like Camp Crystal Lake. It's a long ass documentary about the making of all of Friday the 13th. Have you watched that?
I've watched some of it. Yeah. I somehow got given a copy of it, and that's the kind of shit that I like. Like I'm a big fan of behind the scenes, like special features, making of. I'm into that stuff. So I've definitely watched a lot of that stuff. Now, maybe not all of the discs, because I think there's like 2 or 3 discs, but
it's long. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. We were watching it. I was watching it the other day, and like it was fun watching the part about the 3D, because they really like. I didn't realize that they were one of the first, to really work with the new 3D technology in the 80s, and like. It sounded like it was such a pain in the ass. Like, it made it so much more difficult all around.
Yeah, and like I think the unfortunately that stuff really, you like you said, you watch it today and you're like, oh God, like they're spending a whole scene on this broomstick, but in 3D, and it hurts your eyes in 3D. Trust me, like with the glasses, but. It was still kind of a good time, but I like gimmick shit, so that might be the deal too.
Same.
Yo, so one more thing, because I know you got to get off of here in like 10 or 15 minutes, but let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You had mentioned, this is like a 2-part question. You had mentioned that your drummer, Wolf Fart, had saved you from being sexually assaulted by a biker. And
yeah, dude.
So I want to hear that story, because I find it interesting, and we've had incidents too where it seems like some people become weirdly, and I kind of asked Phil this, but I think Phil thought I wanted like stories about groupies. That's not what I was talking about. I just find it weird that there are people out there that become sexually attracted to a stranger in a costume or a mask without ever knowing them.
Yeah, it was a couple years after we had first started playing, and Wolf Fart booked us a show on the other coast of Florida in a town we never played before. And we get there, and it's just this total biker bar, and no one's there except for these like tough ass looking bikers. And it's just, we all have those shows, right, where it's just booked to the wrong fucking place. And so when I perform, like Michael J. Wolf is very like he's very sexual. He's homo. He's hetero. He loves fucking animals. He loves it all, right? It's a very like, and so Wolf Fart's like, dude, Greg, like, Michael J. When we play, you're gonna need to tone it down, man. Like, because you're gonna piss these people off, and they're gonna murder us. Right. So we played, and I upped it by like 10 times, man. I was like winking. I was like, there's like some parts in songs where I put my guitar down and kind of waddle around and like walk up and like I'm serenading you, like I was doing it with biker dudes. and they were just laughing. They got a big, and I didn't think they would like us either, but they ended up really loving us. And so after the show, one of the biggest biker dudes is, you know, like a movie biker, fully shaved head, right? He's sitting on the couch in this club with his girlfriend. I thought it was his girlfriend next to him. And he's like, hey, you guys got any shirts to sell? And like, we never even unpacked the merch because it was one of those shows. I was like, yeah, dude, we got some in the van. It's like, all right, I want to come buy one. I'm like, okay, cool, follow me. So we walk out of the place, and luckily Wolfart was hanging out there smoking a cigarette or something. And he's like, oh, I'll tag along. He just comes over with us, and we walk over to the back of the van. I open it up, I sell him a shirt, and then after I sell him a shirt, he looks at me, he goes, now how about a kiss, lover? And like, it made me super like I'm not like grossed out by dudes or anything. Like I don't give a shit, but like I was scared, man, because he was serious about it, and I kind of giggled it off at first, like I was like, yeah, right. He's like, no, I want a kiss, and like he was like getting close to me, and this dude could have fucking overpowered me in 2 seconds. But because Wolfart was there, I like literally I felt so scared. I kissed him on the cheek real quick, and we kind of skittered off, and like. And I know that dude could have fucked me up literally. Yeah, like, if Wolfart wasn't hanging around. So it was kind of a scary scene. But yeah, like this biker dude who we thought was all tough, he was into it, man.
Yeah. Well, so I've never seen you guys live. Do you keep your stuff on 24/7, or is it like it's on until you're done, or do you take it off afterwards?
Well, yeah, we'll like hang out like to sell merch and stuff, you know, so people recognize it. Obviously that helps. And yeah. But after that, like, you know, we'll take it off. We'll go transform into regular clothes. So yeah, at that point, I had been changed. I was probably just in everything except my mask at that point. Yeah. So I was still in my underwear. I was still in. I had like tidy yellow underwear that I tucked my jersey into, and then I just had the knee-high socks. And so I mean, it'd be a turn on for almost anybody. I should have known better. Yeah, but you got that too, like where like people like are like super like. And it's happened too with like ladies too. I mean, I'm a married dude and I don't cheat and stuff, so like it's never gone anywhere. But yeah, I've had like girls too being into it, you know.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's that's what I've always found fascinating is like there are people definitely with the Jasons that like we will meet at a show and it's not even like it's people that. It's not always like people who like the band and came to see the band. Usually those people are a little bit more in the know and they're like, you get a more real sort of interaction. But what we have noticed is like alcohol mixed with people who are a little drunk and have never seen you before. They kind of treat you like you're sort of an entertainment thing, you know, where like, they can grab you and touch you and touch you. Oh yeah. And I don't mind that. Like, dude, honestly, I like to be when we're playing. I don't care if somebody grabs me. I don't care if somebody spits on me. But there are some people who are like, you know, we played a show and I was just fucking standing there. I don't remember. I told somebody this. I don't know, but it was our guitar player's birthday, and we had this birthday cake for him. And I'm a straight edge. Myself and the drummer for the Jasons are straight edge dudes. Oh no shit. And for lack of a better term, we're straight edge, I guess. I mean, we're big on like straight edge hardcore, blah blah blah. But that's not really. We're just there. We just don't. So yeah, I was hanging out, giving out pieces of birthday cake to people after the show, and this girl came up and she was like, "I'm gonna suck your dick." And I was like, oh, hey. And she meant it. And I was like, I'm thinking like, you have no idea what is up. I mean, yeah, I look like Ryan Gosling under here. Sure. Of course. I also have an STD. And so then she left. And then she came back with a guy who is her boyfriend. And then she tells him, I'm going to suck his dick. And they start fighting in front of me. And then she runs off. And it's me and the dude standing there. It was so awkward. And I was like, you want some cake? I don't know what the fuck to say. And like, so we'll have stuff like that. I had someone try to grab me and like pull my mask off and kiss me. And like, and it always, it's shocking because you're just like, man, these people, maybe it's the alcohol, but like I could be any kind of fucking crazy person, really. You know?
Totally, man. Yeah, people are nuts, man. You're right. Like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what makes them so comfortable, because you'd think we're fucking weirdos. I would think, like, it'd probably make me want to not touch someone in their fucking hockey mask, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like, people feel like they can just grab you and whatever. And again, and I'm the same way. I don't give a shit, man. I'm in this. I kind of expect it, like,
Yeah.
I'm in this get up, and like when we play, like, I'm in my underwear. I'm trying to like act all like, cheesy, sexy and stuff. Sometimes, like, acting like I'm a fucking runway model and stuff.
Right,
And
right.
it's all as part of the shtick. So yeah, I expect it. I mean, I don't think everyone should feel okay with that. I personally don't give a shit, but
Yeah.
I guess I probably do have a limit. I mean, I guess if someone like just shoved their thumb up my ass or something, I'd be a little pissed about that without them asking first,
Yeah, right.
But that hasn't happened yet, knock on wood.
That's why, and that's a danger when you're wearing those little underwear. That's why we got to pad it up with leather in the Jasons, because we got to have like a fortress of dead cow to protect our orifices.
Well, I played a couple sets where I forgot my underwear, so I'm just in a jock strap with my jersey tucked into a jock strap. So my butthole's just hanging out for anyone to enjoy.
You're living that he who cannot be named dwarves live there. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, dude, I don't know what it is, but like that's part of the, when me and Phil agreed on this, is like there's a level of like you get a chance to be a fucking superhero for a little bit, because people treat you like, oh fuck, and all you did was put on that shit and write good music, but part of it is that visual thing, so it's cool.
It's way more fun, man, and you don't have to, you're like not self-conscious because you're in a mask and you're just being goofy anyway. It's so fun.
Yeah, man, I agree, and I think like that's why I'm glad we got to chat, because like when I listened to your music, when I saw your band, I was like, I feel like those guys would get us, and I feel like we get those guys, and like
100%, man.
Even regardless of like musical styles and all that stuff, I think bands that do the stuff that we do have a unique experience. That's why I've been like just talking to people, because I think it's interesting that so much of it is like a shared creative, like the thing that starts our creativity. For some of us is just like, that's a cool image, I'm going to go ahead and make an entire band. And it's like, and then now here you are, you're 4 albums down the road plus a demo, right? And like, it's like, it's amazing how much for me to see somebody who's got so much creativity that you take this little thing and make it 4 fucking albums. That's a fucking accomplishment. So
same to you, brother, man. And I don't think it's any different or less artistic than just someone pulling off their own personal memories and experiences.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. You're writing about something.
You just become the intercessor for a fictional person in so many ways.
It's fun, man. Well, we definitely. I know you guys came down here like a few years ago, right? And
yeah, I think when we put out Blood in the Streets was when we came down to Florida. I think.
And is it further south you came in Florida? Was it St. Augustine? Didn't you guys play Nobby's in St. Augustine? Does that ring a bell?
I'm bad at that. Our bass player, he books everything, and I also never know where I am ever. So,
I'm kind of the same way, honestly. I just know Nobby's because it's in Florida. It's not really close to us, but we played there. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. And either you guys reached out or someone reached out for us to come open for you guys. And it just didn't work. Like time-wise, it just didn't work for some reason. So that was kind of a bummer. But
yeah,
have you all only been to Florida once? That one time?
I think we did twice. We did one. We've been to Florida twice for sure. But maybe the one we flew down for just a one-off show. Actually, we did one show down there at a club. I can't remember that either, but it was in Ocala. Do you know where Ocala is?
That's like half hour south of Gainesville. It's kind of between where I am and Gainesville. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we did. But
what show was that you were flying? Because Ocala is like a small town. What show did you fly into Ocala for?
So it was. We met a cool dude down there named Charlie Osceola, I believe, and So he is like, we met him because he made this fucking badass Splatterhouse fan film. And met him and became friends with him, and he just kind of became like our friend. And then he was like, yo man, I want to throw a Jason show down here. And we were like, oh man, like, you know, that we're talking thousands of dollars to fly us down there for one show. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And we were like,
Dude,
all right, I guess we're going down there for a fucking show. So he was just one of these cool dudes that like was like, yeah, I got the money. I'm gonna throw a fucking show down here. So
that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
I would jump all over that too, man. If someone wants to pay us to fly somewhere and play.
Yeah. And for us, like, we're like in that, like, we're like, yeah, well, we don't really care even like if we can get down there and play it, like we don't give a fuck. Like, okay, pay our way and get us down there, and we'll just
that's what I mean. I wouldn't need to make money off it. If they're gonna pay the way, it's just gonna be a free trip.
Yeah,
fuck yeah, it'd be fun, man.
Yeah. So, but that's the only time we've been down, and I know we were definitely trying to link it up with you guys. I think it always comes up, but we know you guys are like way down there, so it's always like, we got to get together with Wolfface one day, you know, sometime. So,
well, listen, if you guys are ever playing anywhere in Florida in the future, let me know, because we'll go anywhere. You just driving for a night to open for you dudes.
Fuck yeah, man. And likewise, too. You know, if you guys ever come down this way, whatever. But we will definitely make it happen as soon as all this stuff's gone. You know.
Yeah. So have you guys? Why haven't you guys ever played Fest, man? Have you guys ever tried to play Fest in Gainesville?
No, I don't think we have, man. Like we so 3D is our booking agent basically, and we have no booking agent experience. Just like we never, you know, until this past year we never worked with the label, we never worked with booking. So we're just like, it's really just like cold calling people for the most part, and we got no connections. So maybe he's tried because he sends a lot of messages out, but yeah, I don't know much about other than I watched a video. I'm assuming it was the Fest that never was. Is that the place you're talking about?
Yeah. So you're not familiar with Fest? I assume that's stupid for me to assume that. But
no, not a whole lot.
Oh, okay. So Fest is like this festival in Gainesville, Florida, about 30 minutes north of Ocala. That happens every year. It's happened for since 2001, I think. And there's 300 bands from all over the world playing. And I'm not a fan of festivals. I don't like festivals. I don't like going to festivals. You know, like the typical big festivals with big stages and people in tents and shit. I don't really like that. That's not my thing. But Fest is more, they basically take over downtown Gainesville and take over 9 small clubs, and they have bands playing for 3 days straight. And a lot of great bands, I mean, huge punk bands play this thing every year. And a lot of real small bands that from all over the world where you might never ever get to see them, but they're playing Fest, so you get to see them. You guys should definitely look into that, because I think people would like you guys a lot. And we played the past, I think 7 years ago was the first time we played, and we've been lucky enough to be invited back every time.
Yeah.
And every year we played, the room we played is at capacity. So it's always been a fucking awesome show. And there's people, I mean, we're not a big band, right? So there's not a ton of people outside of Florida who know about us, but at Fest, a lot of people from outside of Florida and even overseas get to see us, and they're singing our songs. It's a really cool thing. And I think you guys are fitting great. There's some, if you guys want to email me, I can tell you who to email about looking into that if you want to. Who knows if it's going to happen this year? I mean, I don't know, but and another cool thing that I like about it is, for the past several years, Tony, the guy who runs it, lets us also do a night where we do a cover set. And 2 years ago, we did a Misfits cover set. That was one of the most fun things I've ever gotten to do, man. And And the place we played was like this little club packed to the gills. People just going nuts singing these songs with me. It was so fun. A couple years before that, we got to do a Screeching Weasel cover set, which was really rad. And so every year has been like my favorite show to play because and it's a fun festival because it's not like a packed festival. It's people like walking around this downtown area, and it's all like punk rockers and shit from all over the place. And it's just really fun, like a laid back type festival thing where you can go to as many shows as you want or as little shows as you want, but every show you go to, it's going to be fun because there's going to be a lot of people in there and raging and having fun, you know?
Yeah, dude, that sounds way cool. Like, and dude, I mean, especially now when you're talking about it now, I'm fucking dying because it's been so long.
I know, right? Oh, God. But yeah, you guys should definitely try out for that because I mean, you guys have records out and stuff. I mean, you're not just like sometimes like I hear from bands that are like brand new who have never even put out a record. They're like, dude, we keep emailing to get on fest and they're just ignoring us. It's like, well, you got to play shows and like somehow get on the radar a little bit, you know, put out a record or something. So you guys are definitely there. And like, I think they probably, you don't get paid much as like, you know, your first year. So it's probably like you're paying to go down there, but we sell a ton, like merch sales are great. Cause again, every place you play, there's going to be people there and you can sell merch and, you know, pay for it that way usually.
And that's how it is for us too. Like normally it's like, if we don't make money at a show on the show itself, because of the type of band we are, we always do okay in merch. And I'm sure it's the same with you guys. It's like,
yeah, totally. And we never expect to make shit at shows. I mean, you know, we're happy to get, if we can get $100, you know, that's really good. And a lot of times you're getting like $20.
Yeah. Well, dude, the last festival we played was the Gathering of Juggalos, and we didn't get nothing to play down there. So, but we got in. So there you go.
How was that? How was playing that? What was it like?
You know what? It was rad because I can always say that KRS-One opened for us, even though he just played before us. He didn't really open for us, but
were you guys like on a big stage, like with a lot of?
No,
people,
we played at like 4 or 5 a.m. and it was one of the side stages. And dude, talking about like people in bands like us, there's a bond there. Who fucking showed up to watch us? Fucking Clownvis Presley, because that guy knows. He knows he needs to fucking show up and support his gimmick band brothers. So
dude, that's too funny, man.
It was cool, man. Like I just you know, it was a humongous and terrifying and good time all at the same time.
Well, I can kind of relate to that, man, because the last show we played before lockdown was this thing called Okeechobee Fest. There's a town called Okeechobee in Florida. And the past few years, they do this thing called Okeechobee Fest. It's basically like Bonnaroo, but in Florida. It's this huge festival with like Mumford and Sons, and all these huge like pop bands, and it's a lot of fucking EDM, which I don't fucking care for.
Yeah.
But this guy was like a few months before that fest, we played this little show in St. Pete, and it was like packed deals, super fun. And this guy who was wasted there, like came and talked to me afterwards, like, I love you guys. I'm setting up this stage at Okeechobee Fest. I want you guys to play. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'll play that goofy shit. Yeah. And so he got us on it, and we go there, and it's like tents, you know, it's like a multi-day festival. It's just a bunch of fucking like ravers dressed as like French fries, tripping balls, and like the music is just nonstop. Like, you know, when you're at a light and someone pulls up next to you with like ridiculous bass, and it just sounds like farts shaking your car. Right. That's all it was walking around, and like literally like $20 beers for a can of beer. You go to like get a beer, $20 for a can of beer. Fucking Wolf Fart bought a shot and a beer. It cost him $50.
Give me a keg of beer.
Ridiculous, right? And we get there and we go to the stage we're supposed to play, which is a smaller stage, of course. And the guy who set it up, the guy I met, he was a super nice guy. Like, he was super cool to get us on. He's like, oh, you know, some things switched up, and we had to move your set time from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go home. I'm too old. I can't play at 4 a.m. He's trying to sell me on. He was like, but that's when like all the big stages close, so everyone's going to be following me. And I was like, dude, I don't really care, man. Like, I'm going to be like dead, and it's not going to be fun for me. Sorry. So I put us back on 1 in the morning. We played, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, it's just a weird fun. It's definitely won our scene, man. Like,
Yeah, right, dude. That's basically the same shit that happened with us, except for when we got called to do the gathering. The dude was like, it was like, yo, man, we got a spot for you. Yes or no right now. And he was like, check it out. You're playing at 4 a.m. I know you're going to think that's bullshit, but people fucking party all weekend. So there will still be people to watch you. I know it sounds like bullshit, but wait till you get up here, then you'll see how we fucking roll.
Yeah.
And he wasn't wrong. People were still going crazy rioting at 4 a.m. So
that's awesome, man. I couldn't do it, man. I'm too old, man. I like getting to bed at a reasonable hour and shit. My back hurts. But no, that's I would totally, man. Like, I'm definitely not an Insane Clown Posse fan, or like I don't do meth, and so I normally wouldn't go. I normally wouldn't go to Gathering of the Juggalos. But if we were invited to play, fuck yeah, because I just love experiences like that, like weird, unique experiences, like this fucking EDM fest we played.
Yeah,
it's not my bag, but it was an experience, you know. Like,
you never should. I don't think you should ever say no to an opportunity like that, because a million bands will go, oh man, you know, that's not our scene. Whereas like the truth is, like, we're the one band that sounds different on this scene, on this fest. So that's
totally. We'll actually stand out.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, totally.
I mean, and usually, like, I'm sure it's the same way with you guys. Every show that we play where there may only be a few people there, almost inevitably, we always meet a couple dudes who like fucking love the band and stick with the band for a long time. And it's like, there's always that one or two people that fucking grabs a hold, and it's like, that was worth it right there, you know?
100%, man. And that's why, you know, that's why we do our best at every show. I'm sure you guys do too. Like, we're going to fucking rock and have fun.
Yeah.
There's 2 people standing there, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, man, because it really just because I've learned a million times that it's always the shows you think, yeah, it wasn't that great, and then you meet somebody later who's like, yeah, man, I saw you guys there, and it's like, that's a person who's coming to another show, or they're buying merch or whatever. Like, it's a huge it's always encouraging, because you're like, yeah, man, I would rather play a show and there may be not too many people there, but one person sticks with my band from here on out, versus play a crowd of people that like it but don't buy anything and don't stick around, you know?
Yep, absolutely, man. I feel like, dude, we have so many parallels, man. Like, it's pretty rad.
Well, like I said, I think there's a certain type of person that makes the choice to play music this way. So my theory has only held up after talking to you, talking to Phil, and talking to the singer Hoax from this band 52 Ways. So
awesome.
Maybe like I said, at some point, all of the gimmick bands will unite, and we will take over the world and be the only bands left in the apocalypse.